Picture this.
Mm.
A secret society forming, not in some smoky back room, but at MIT in the 1950s. But instead of shadowy figures, we're talking about the birth of hacker culture.
A secret society of tech wizards.
Exactly. And our guidebook for this journey is Stephen Levy's Hackers. We're going deep into the world of the TX0 and the IBM 704.
These weren't just any computers.
Right. These were massive, room-sized machines. Back then, computers were like these mysterious, almost sacred objects.
Owned by a select few.
It was a totally different world. But at MIT, a group of students in the Tech Model Railroad Club, the TMRC, were about to change everything.
Ah, the TMRC. It sounds so ordinary.
Deceptively ordinary. These guys weren't just playing with toy trains. They were obsessed with how things work, the signals, the power, the guts of the system.
And that fascination with tinkering, with figuring out how to make systems do things they weren't designed to do, that's a key part of the hacker ethos, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it wasn't long before they turned that same curiosity to the world of computers.
Where the stakes were even higher.
And the possibilities, limitless. And when we talk about computers in this era, we can't forget the TX0, a machine that became a hacker's paradise.
The TX0, it was a game changer. While IBM was all about batch processing, feed in your punch cards and wait, the TX0 was interactive.
You could actually see what you were doing in real time.
Exactly. Blinking lights, sounds, even some early computer music coming out of this thing. It was live.
It's amazing to think about these guys huddled around this machine, feeding in their programs on paper tape.
And these weren't just any guys. Levy introduces us to some real characters.
Yeah.
Peter Sampson, Alan Kotok, Bob Saunders.
Each one with their own quirks and obsessions.
Like Sampson, who once tricked an IBM operator just to prove a point.
You have to admire that hacker spirit, never afraid to challenge the status quo.
Because for them, it wasn't about blindly following rules. It was about understanding the system, pushing its limits, finding new and innovative ways to make it work for them.
Which brings us to the heart of it all, the hacker ethic.
Not so much a set of rules, but a shared philosophy.
A way of looking at the world, at technology, at knowledge itself. So we've uncovered this fascinating subculture at MIT, huddled around the TX0, driven by this hacker ethic. But what does it all mean for us now?
That's the thing about the hacker ethic. It's like this hidden code in our DNA.
Okay, I like that, but what do you mean?
Well, think about it. This deep dive into hackers, it's not just ancient history.
Right, it's surprisingly relevant.
It's in the open source movement, the maker culture,
Yeah.
even the way the internet itself is built, all these echoes of the hacker ethic.
So those 6 tenets Levy outlines, they're like the source code.
Exactly. Take the first one. Access to computers should be unlimited and total.
No gatekeepers, no barriers.
Exactly. Remember the Midnight Requisitioning Committee? Those MIT students who borrowed computer parts?
To get around the red tape, they just wanted to learn, to experiment.
And that spirit is alive today, right? People building their own computers, creating open source hardware.
Democratizing technology. I like it. What's next on our list?
All information should be free. It's not just about access. It's about the free flow of knowledge.
Like those early hackers sharing their code on the TX0, building on each other's work.
Collaboration over competition. You see it everywhere now. Online encyclopedias, open access journals.
Breaking down the walls of traditional institutions. Okay, what else? This is fascinating.
This one is classic hacker. Mistrust authority, promote decentralization.
Question everything.
Right. Don't just accept the status quo, especially when it comes from big institutions. The hackers, in Levy's book, they distrusted IBM, they distrusted bureaucracy, they trusted themselves.
To figure things out, to innovate, to find a better way.
And they valued skills over credentials. Which brings us to hackers should be judged by their hacking, not bogus criteria.
Like 12-year-old Peter Deutsch, accepted into the TX0 community based purely on his talent.
His age didn't matter, his background didn't matter, just his passion, his ability.
A true meritocracy. You see that online all the time, people gaining respect based on their knowledge and contributions, not their fancy degrees.
It's about what you can do, not who you know. And this next tenet, it speaks to the soul of a hacker. You can create art and beauty on a computer.
It's more than just ones and zeros. It's about expressing yourself, like Sampson with his music program.
Exactly. These hackers, they saw the beauty in the code itself, the elegance of a well-crafted program.
It's like digital artistry. Okay, last but not least, tenet number 6.
Computers can change your life for the better. This wasn't just a belief. It was a core value for these early hackers.
They really believed in the power of technology to improve the world.
And to connect us in new and meaningful ways.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into hackers, it's clear that this wasn't just about some guys playing with computers in the
It was
1950s.
about something much bigger.
It was about curiosity, freedom, and the power of technology to empower us all.
It's the spirit that continues to inspire today, pushing the boundaries of what's possible, one line of code at a time.
And who knows what amazing things we can achieve if we all embrace that same hacker ethic.